Hello class, and I'm coming to you actually from my classroom today. So I thought I would come up to school since we were having some problems with the Zoom, and I would record a video for you up here today just for a change of venue. And so Mrs. Tanner, that's my name again, just to remind those of you as you're starting to learn my face and my name. And you can go ahead and try to come to class today and see if our Zooms are working, and if we can get online together, then we will. But in the event that you're not able to Zoom with me in our class this afternoon, and for those of you tomorrow, if we're still an ongoing issue for my B-Day students, then you'll see this video here just to help you. Or for any students who are absent or for one reason or another not unavailable to be able to come to our Zoom. So in an effort to continue getting to know you, since I talked a little bit about myself last week and till the end of class where you asked some questions, I wanted to spend some more time today getting to know you and talking about why that's important. So oftentimes someone will ask you a question in an interview, or your parents will ask you, how was your day? Or a teacher will ask you, how are you doing? And in essence, we'll get very short answers. Sometimes your parents just long for those communications with you as their child, and you'll say, it was fine, it was okay, or you'll just nod. So with that said, part of my course is getting you to be able to find the words so that when you're asked questions, whether they be in an interview or in some place where you need to be able to communicate, that you are used to answering with more than phrases and one-word answers, that you'll be able to develop that. So in efforts to do that, today I'm going to show you first. This is my Moodle page, and things are pretty self-explanatory. We've got a school calendar. We don't have a textbook that's online, although you may use one when we come back to the classroom. But generally, I provide everything for you so you don't have to have that. Here's my email if you want to reach that, the Home Access Center. My ePortfolio if you're interested in learning a little bit more about me and seeing how I set up my ePortfolio, the syllabus for the course, and then this just referenced that your Zoom class link is below. So I've got this in student view so that you can see that this is where our Zoom class will be, and it tells you that, but it also tells you what my schedule is and reminds you of the times of the classes while we're in remote learning. So today this lesson is for my 5th period, or perhaps for my 2nd and my 4th period tomorrow if we're still having a Zoom problem. So you'll look under the toggle basics for communication, or basics of communication, and then we're doing some getting to know you. So in this getting to know you, you have until the 27th to turn this in. So if you need to work in your independent learning time, so I'll expect to see my A-Day students that I assigned to today have it completed and done by the next time I see them on Wednesday. And hopefully we'll have everything resolved by then. If not, you'll reference Moodle and look for your assignments there. The Million Words or Less assignment is for you not so much to focus on your grammar or your writing, spelling, but just getting thoughts to paper, just putting some words and starting to type and not stopping. So making yourself non-stop type and do as many words as you possibly can about yourself. You'll talk about your past, your present, your future. You'll talk about your goals, some of the things that you want to do with your life. You'll talk about possibly people who inspired you or people you would like to inspire. You'll talk about monumental things that have happened perhaps in your life, or if you're someone who says there's nothing, then you'll just tell us, like, what do you do day to day? What are places that you want to go and vacation and see before, you know, you get too old to travel? What are the things that you really miss that maybe you haven't been able to do while we've been in this type of situation with Corona? So you could talk about all those things, any of those things, or several things that I didn't put, like possibly instruments that you play, or what sports you're in, or theater productions you've done, or what random hobbies, like that you ride a unicycle, or you know that you do some kind of really cool thing that I don't know about, or possible cultural things that you and your family celebrate or acknowledge and do that quite possibly are more unique, and not necessarily everybody does those type of traditions, or you do them in a different type of way. So I want to really learn everything and anything there is about you. I'm not going to make you read this in front of the class. I will use it as a basis for something else, but nothing you'll have to tell or share. I won't be sharing out your information. You would always get to choose what you would tell us in a speech, okay? So just know that this is just a little bit from me to you, you to me, so that we can have an open channel of communication where it's written, but I'll be able to learn about you. And sometimes many of you I find are better when you get to write it rather than say it. Some of the things that you would write to me are very different than things that you would say to me. And if we were in class, I would ask you why that is. And why do you think that you're able to possibly text a person something that you can't tell a person? Why are you able to write a person something in a letter or an email that you wouldn't necessarily have in a conversation? And those things, if you're thinking about that answer, would be that oftentimes it's hard for us. It's hard for us to find those words in that particular time to be able to tell or discuss those things. So the way that Moodle works, those of you who've done it before know, and some of you who are new to our district maybe have not used it, you'll just click here on this assignment, and what it'll bring up for you is what the assignment is. So let's talk about that. In a Word document, please write 1 million words or less about yourself, what you don't like, what you do like, what you want to be when you grow up, where you want to go to college, what are your hopes and dreams, tell me a story of your life. Perhaps the possibilities are endless. Just make it creative, have fun, make it entertaining, and most of all, share a part of yourself with the world, or just me in this case, as it's an assignment. And it must be at least 3 paragraphs. An intro, body, and conclusion would be nice if you put the intro and the conclusion on top of it with the 3 body parts of 3 main areas that you'd like to talk about. I just want you to avoid listing, so it's not just one list. I like to ski. I like to dance. I also like to, play with my dog, Rufio, and whatever these type of things would be. It's better if you tell us, I like to dance. I've been taking dance classes since I was 6. My first dance class was ballet, and you tell us like all the different types of dancing you've done or learned about. And so that's the bulk of it, adding those words to tell us more information. It sometimes is just not enough. So you'll continue to tell us that, and it gives you a 5 sentences. Those of you who you will work to write, and in some instances the writing could be difficult, so everybody writes at their own level. Some of you will write only 3 sentences because that's just, you're going to write me 3 good sentences, and some of you will write me 7, and some of you will write just 5. So I want you to play with this as it's flexible, as long as you're telling me things, as long as I have lots of information to work with after this assignment's done. That's most important. So if you tell me just a few sentences, then you could put a list underneath it. Here's some other things. I like skydiving, and I like to hike, and I like to do these things. Maybe a list of some things if you don't feel like writing some big, huge story. Okay, you don't have to tell me all the details, but just at least tell me 3 things that you give me some depth to. And that depth means to give me, that you're seeking out 5. Some of you, again, have different parameters that your writing skills and abilities, and then others of you know that you could write more than 5. So I want everybody to measure that against what your own personal writing abilities are. And then you can just put words and phrases at the bottom if you want to add more information. Let's say you wrote only a few sentences, but you needed to modify for yourself, and that's what you did. And then you could give me some words or phrases at the bottom that you could also add to this assignment. So that would be helpful. So you have this written out for me, and then that way I get to read and learn on my own about you, and then you're going to use this as a basis to jump off of all this information into something else. So 1 million words or less means you're not going to probably write 1 million words, but if you did, that'd be so cool, and it would take me a long time to read, but that would be fun. And then if you just do your best with it, that's all I'm asking for. So just do your best. And those of you know your personal best and what your abilities are in order to be able to do that. And then once we have that information, we can move on using this as a starting point to move on to the next exercise. So I thank you so much for your time, and I hope that Zoom will be up and running soon by Wednesday so that we can work, and hopefully even tomorrow, and maybe even today I might see some of you on the Zoom. So thank you so much, and do your best. Work always, because like I said, this class is professional communication, so it's about working to seek best practices in communications. So I'll see you back on our next class, but thanks so much for watching the video. Bye.